All right, go ahead.
All right. Thank you for hopping on our Coach Q&A. We are going to do kind of a round robin. We are going to answer 4 frequently asked questions. These are questions that we get all the time. So we're going to kick the call off by answering these 4 questions, and then we're going to open it up at the end so you can ask any questions that you might have, and we can give you some answers. So to start it off, my name is Nina Piers. I have been a coach for about 5.5 years now. A little bit about myself and how I got into this business. I was actually an elementary school teacher. So I have 13 years teaching experience. I taught kindergarten, first grade, third grade, and fourth grade. I have a bachelor's in psychology and a master's in education. And I did not grow up playing sports or on a fitness journey of any sorts. But I met my husband, and he was actually a NFL football player. So when I met my husband, he was trying to convince me that I needed to work out, and I wanted nothing to do with working out. And I was just fine not working out. But after so I'm a mom of 3, and my husband is now a firefighter. And after I had my last child and knew we were done having babies, I kind of had this urge to start working out. But it had to be my decision to do it, whereas my husband urged me for the 10 years before that to just, work out and to go to the gym with him, and he would try making me lift the way he lifted as a NFL lineman, which was not how I should be lifting. So it just made me hate it even more. So finally, I decided that I wanted to work out. I was kind of tired of being tired. So I started going to the gym, and I started training for the New York City Marathon. And being a teacher, having a husband that's a firefighter and gone at least 48 consecutive hours a week, and then training for a marathon on top of that with 3 kids, I didn't have time to go to the gym anymore. And it really had become something that I loved. So that's when I learned about Beachbody and the at-home workouts that they had, and I decided to give it a try. And at the same time, I was told about the coaching opportunity. And it was perfect for me because I've always had this entrepreneurial spirit. I've always wanted to have my own business. I'm not afraid to work. And at that same time, I was kind of thinking about how I could make fitness into a business. I was doing fit clubs at school before I was a coach, where teachers would come into my classroom and we would work out together anyways. So learning about this opportunity just seemed to make sense. I had zero intention of ever leaving teaching, never wanted to do that, and never even started working the business with that in my mind. But after coaching for 2.5 years, I decided to say, well, what if? I was really enjoying this business, and I believed in the opportunity that it could provide for me, and the freedom and flexibility as a mom was really appealing. So I decided to say, well, what if I just work a little bit harder and work in the pockets of time? I can wake up a little bit earlier, I can work through my lunch, I can make this work. So I decided to go all in, and that year I was able to match my teaching salary, and then I was given the choice to walk away from teaching. So this is actually my 3rd school year out of the classroom, and I'm a full-time coach now. And my life is just, I don't know, I'm forever grateful, not only for what this business has done for me financially, but the freedom that it's given for me to be a present mom, and just the growth that it's provided. I'm such a better person and just have amazing friendships, and it's opened up so many doors for me that I'm just forever grateful for this opportunity. So the question that I'm going to answer that we are often asked is, how do you get started? How do you become a coach? So as coaches, we actually partner with the company Beachbody, and we use their products, their resources, to just get a global reach. So maybe you want to be a coach, or you want to work in the fitness industry, but so often you are tied just to your backyard and just to your geographical area, whereas coaching gives us a platform to help people across the nation and pretty soon worldwide. So it's awesome that we're able to help as many people as we want. just digitally and virtually. So once you decide to become a coach, we set you up with a custom wellness kit. And you might already be on your journey, or you might have never ever worked out before in your life, or you might kind of be somewhere in between. So we have a digital library of fitness programs. There's almost 100 fitness programs now, and they're really diverse. So they can meet everybody's ability and goal. And maybe the fitness program, like, we recommend that you do a fitness program from start to finish, just so you can experience what it's like, and so you can get the results that we do guarantee. But it doesn't mean that you have to solely do that. I've run 2 full marathons while doing Beachbody programs, and I've used them to supplement what I've currently been doing. And then I've also just done them exclusively as well. So there's a lot of flexibility with that. But in addition to our fitness programs, we also have amazing nutrition plans that are simple and sustainable. So they're not diets, but they're simple and sustainable, so they can become a lifestyle for you, but also for your entire family. So my entire family follows our nutrition plan, and we just tweak it and make it work for us, which is awesome. And we've been following it for several years, and it truly is a lifestyle that we can go out to dinner, we can celebrate the holidays, and we can continue to make progress and reach our goals. And then we also have a performance line of supplements and a superfood shake. And then we have lots of other add-ons like bars and little mini cleanses, collagen, all sorts of things. So we customize your wellness kit to match your abilities and your needs and desires. So when you are a coach, the number one priority is to focus on yourself, to focus on your own growth and your own goals. And then you coach by sharing your journey and inspiring others through your journey, and just really linking arms and doing this journey with others. You provide others accountability, and working together, you get accountability as well. When you become a coach on our team, we actually provide all sorts of support and training and all the resources that you need to reach your goals and become successful. It's a very simple business, but we can't confuse that with it being easy. And there are all sorts of resources and trainings that we can provide you through our upline. We are on the largest team in the entire network. So we have so many resources for you, but we don't want to overwhelm you. So depending on your goals and depending on the timeline of reaching those goals, we give you the training that you need when you need it. So the investment to get started can range anywhere between $130 up to $300, and that's American. I know we have some Canadian coaches, and then we all are also in the UK. So it just depends on the products, but it usually ranges anywhere between $100 and $300. All right, so now I'm going to pass it on to Courtney.
Hey everybody, can you all hear me okay? And just give me a thumbs up, we're good, okay. I'm Courtney Huber. I am also a mom of 3. My youngest is 5 months old already now. I can't believe how fast the time is going. My oldest is 7. My middle is my daughter, and she's 4.5. And she actually is the reason why I started coaching. After I had her, I had so much trouble losing weight. And it wasn't that I had gained a ton of weight with pregnancy or anything. It was a very normal weight gain. It's just that I remembered with my son, nursing him, the weight came off really naturally, really easily. I didn't really have to work at it. And then with my daughter, that wasn't happening. And I was in this place of I don't know, just being uncomfortable in my own skin. I couldn't find outfits that worked when I would have to go out of the house, and I would be frustrated and just kind of down, and then along with that, my energy was really low. So I felt like I was barely keeping up with the household stuff, the household chores, and much less I didn't feel like I was a thriving mom. And I had remembered my coach now, she had reached out to me 10 months prior. So I was pregnant at the time when she talked to me initially about coaching and how much she loved it. And I was like, no, I'll never do that. I would never do that, you know. But part of what she had said was that she had lost a bunch of weight using these fitness programs and this nutritional shake. And here I was 10 months later, 3 months postpartum with my second kid and struggling and needing help. So I reached out to her and I was like, I'm ready. Just tell me what should I get? I'm ready. I need to do something and I'm ready to invest in myself. And I'm up until that point, I've been a penny pincher and not a real believer in like investment in myself is a good thing. I've since learned much better that when we spend money on ourselves, it's almost like an affirmation of like, I'm worth it. My health, my well-being is worth it. And then like, once you do it and once you commit to that, it's like you spent money, so you have skin in the game and you're really going to show up then and do what it takes to build a healthy lifestyle. So that's what happened. I ended up signing up, got my package, it was 21-day fix at the time, did those workouts. I thought I had 15 pounds to lose. I ended up losing 23 pounds. It was the leanest I'd been since high school. Clothes fit amazing, and my energy was back. I felt my confidence was back, all of these things. And at the time when I signed up, we were really financially struggling. My husband he had lost his job shortly before my daughter was born, and he still hadn't found work. So we were in a tight spot, but we used, we bought that challenge pack with our credit card. And then Jess, my coach, told me about this coaching opportunity and how I could, it was a business opportunity, basically. So if I would invite other people to do this and get healthy along with me, I could make back my investment. And I decided, okay, I've got to do that because that's how we're going to make this work. And I ended up I'm a rule follower. So whatever she told me to do, I ended up doing and like checking off the list, of things that we do. And it worked. And I built this business. I've been doing it now for 4.5 years. It'll be 5 years this summer, which is crazy to think how fast that time goes. And we now have income that is wonderful, like supplementary income to our family. And I get to be home. We just had our third baby and I get to be home with him without this thought of like, oh, maybe I should get a job. I don't know, I think about it every day when he falls asleep on me in the middle of the day and I can just sit there and soak that up. I don't have to be away. So that's my story. That's a little bit of how I got into this. My question that I'm going to answer tonight is what do you do? What do you do as a coach? How does it work? How do you build a business? And it's pretty simple. They have given us 4 vital behaviors, they call them, that we do every single day. And they're small, but they're mighty. And if you follow them and you do them consistently, your business will grow. And that is how I've built my business. That's how all the girls on here have built their business. And the reason why some coaches fail is because they don't do the things. So if you commit to doing the vital behaviors and you do them consistently, it's amazing what can happen. So the first one is to be a product of the product. So like I did, I bought my startup kit and I went after it and I did the workouts. I drank my Shakeology every day. And I was a product of the product. It started to change who I was as a person, not just on the outside, but also the inside. Because when you take good care of yourself, your confidence builds. And there's something so invigorating about how you feel about yourself inside. So being a product of the product is number one. The second thing is to share or invite other people to do it with you. So in order to invite other people, it only makes sense that you have to share what you're doing. So sometimes that'll happen very naturally when you're out with your friends and they notice, like you can see what's changed about you and they ask, and that's you sharing because you're wearing it, but also, you have to communicate it otherwise. So social media is an amazing platform for that. You can, we have trainings and everything that help us know how to work with social media and learn and change with it as it's changing. But that is a huge awesome tool for sharing our journeys and what we're doing and what's working for us. And then we invite other people to do it and connect them with the fitness plan that's going to fit them right. So that's the second thing, inviting. The third thing is to recognize what is happening with your team. Basically, you're going to have people who join you and they're going to be seeing results, and you want to celebrate that and recognize them for the amazing work that they're doing. And then the fourth thing is personal development, and this probably should have said it as number one because it's like one of the biggest things that will keep you going. Like I said, the things that we do every day are small and you can do them in a short amount of time even, but it's harder than you might think to stay consistent with stuff like that unless you're fueling your mind and you're building your mind, basically, the tool that keeps you going and keeps you committed. So we do personal development. A lot of us read a personal development book. One right now that I'm reading is called Habits, The Power of Habits. I had it sitting here. No, I moved it. But it's such a good book, such a great book. I can, if you guys want to know what it is, I'll go grab it after I'm done sharing and I'll put it in the chat here. But that one's been really good all the time though. I'm always reading a book. Other coaches will do like podcasts. You can listen to those while you're folding laundry, doing dishes. A mindless activity with a mindful thing is really good to pair that and be a time saver. So personal development can also be trainings. There's some awesome trainings that we provide you from our upline, of course, too, but also on YouTube and all of that. You can get really good trainings. That's all personal development. So that's it. That's our 4 vitals. We do them every day, and that's how we grow our businesses, basically. I think that's it. I am going to hand it over to Shayla. She is going to share next.
Hello, everybody. You can hear me? Yes. Everything's good. Awesome. It is so awesome to see all of you guys on here. There's so many of you. My name is Shayla Fiorentino. I am in Canada. Do we have any other Canadians in the house? I have been coaching for 4 years now. Like the other girls, I'm like, holy man, that's crazy. I'm actually going up on my 5th year, going into my 5th year next month. Crazy. I am a mom of 2 wonderful, energetic, beautiful boys that I literally live for. I'm married to my husband, who has been the biggest supporter on this entire journey. I could not have done it or be here without him. And I live in Canada in the mountains. It's pretty darn cold right now, but we've had a mild winter, so I guess I can't really complain. I'm like literally sitting with a blanket right now. The joys of working from home, right? I got sweatpants on under here, guys. But I got into this a little bit differently. I got into coaching completely blindsided. Like, I was the definition of unhealthy my entire life. My mom was a single mom. We grew up on fast food, Ichiban, crap dinner, all the things. I had absolutely no knowledge of healthy or active. My mom worked a lot, so I was always with sitters and daycares, and my auntie took care of me 90% of the time. And it just was never an interest to me ever. And when I had my first son, Carter, who is now 11, absolutely insane. Just like the girls had mentioned as well, going through that when you have, and there's probably some moms on here that can totally relate that has had more than one child. Your first, especially because I was very young, Atomic Habits, yes. Because I was very young, I kind of bounced back really easily. And so it never was anything in my mind of wanting to get healthy. I had no desire whatsoever. And it wasn't until I had Caden, I had 2 C-sections, so this was now my 2nd C-section, and things were a lot different. It was like harsh reality. Girlfriend, you're getting older, your body's changing in so many different ways. You can't live this lifestyle anymore. But I was really good at putting on a good front. Like, I was okay, but inside I was literally dying, you guys. I was so uncomfortable. I was so insecure. I was a little stubborn. It was like I was okay with having my pity party in my bedroom, just like Courtney, like throwing clothes around and upset and tugging at my clothes all the time. And I hated the reflection in the mirror. And it wasn't something that I was ready to admit to for a very long time. So I lived that way in silence, very unhappy and depressed with myself for way too long. And it was affecting my family, my kids, and my husband. It wasn't fair to them that mom was treating herself and speaking the way that I was about my body. And I couldn't do that any longer. And so I tried a few, those little diets out there, did a few of those. That didn't work out so well. It actually ended up totally reversing everything. I gained more weight. And before I knew it, I was like a year postpartum with Caden, and I was up an additional 20 pounds from my postpartum weight. Addicted to fast food, smoking, doing all of the things that I had always done. And it was enough was enough. So my girlfriend, actually, who is my upline, she doesn't do so much the business anymore, but she had come to me and she was doing so well with her health. And I remember I'd see her, but it was like one of those stubborn things, the little stubbornness in me that I was like, oh, like she looks so good, but I'm not going to ask her. I'm not going there. Like, I'm fine, kind of thing. And then she asked me to be her bridesmaid for her wedding. And I was like, okay, whatever you have, like, just give it to me. I just need to lose a little bit of weight. Like, I totally thought this was like a quick fix thing. And I think that was a lot of my mindset of like, I want nothing to do with what you're doing. I've tried all the things. But at that desperation moment, I'm like, whatever you do, I'll not do it. Like, just give it to me. I'm not standing up on your wedding day. You're looking all like fit and healthy and like confident, and we're getting photos. So I got set up with T25. So that's a pretty old program. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it before, with Shaun T, hip hop apps, all that stuff. I did it, and it was the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life. Never worked out a day in my life, knew nothing about fitness, exercise, healthy eating. There was a lot of trial and error. There were a lot of tears. There was a lot of, can I do this? Self-doubt. But because of the community, the people around you, the support, the positivity, following her on social media, being like, I can do it because she came from a place like this too. And if she can do it, why not me? Right? So I completed the program. I lost 37 pounds and I felt so amazing. But you guys, the biggest transformation of all is like, it wasn't so much the physical, it was here. For the first time in my life, I was like, I can do this. I can do hard things, and I can do things that I can put my mind to. And I don't need to lean on somebody or anybody. Like, I can do this. And that was the biggest game changer of all for me. So she actually hosted a little event here. We have mini events quarterly. We actually have one coming up this weekend. But it was a Super Saturday. At the time, we called it Super Saturday. And she said, can you come and be a guest speaker for your success story? And like, you guys, I did not do public speaking, but I was like, of course, oh my God, I'm so grateful for you, right? So I went, I told my story, and the support, the people in the room who had my back, there was no judgment. As I sat up there literally like shaking like this and crying and telling my story, and there's like these photos of my transformation in the back. It was so uncomfortable, but in that moment, I felt at peace, and I felt like I was in a place that I really needed to be at that moment in my life to move forward and do bigger things for myself. And I remember sitting in the chair after and hearing the success stories and watching her host this thing like this. My best friend for so long, I had no idea she had this in her, this entrepreneurial side of her. And I'm like, it was sexy and it was attractive. And I'm like, man, like that is so awesome. And I went home that night and I said to my husband, he was boyfriend at the time. I said to him, I think I'm going to become a coach. I don't really know what that means, but I think I'm going to do it. Like, she earns an income by being healthy and fit. Like, that sounds too good to be true. Like, I'm just going to try it. I'm going to do it. And I did. I signed up, you guys. I never looked back. I went to her, and I'm very much just a go-go person. I'm like, you tell me what to do. And if it's going to get me some success or freedom or make me feel good, like, I will do it. I've always been a really, really hard worker. I learned from my mom. It was just kind of something that I grew up having as an attribute. And so I didn't look back. I ended up replacing my income at the time for my job that I absolutely despised. I was never home. My husband would come home and it was like 30 seconds, a quick smooch, and I was out the door for the night for work. I worked weekends. I missed holidays. So I said to her, what do I need to do to come home full time? And she broke down the rules and gave me the trainings. I'm like, okay, So I did it, and I came home within 7 months. So I have been a full-time coach for almost my entire career as a coach. And I'm actually going to get into the question, and it kind of trickles into that, is my topic tonight is income. How do we make money, right? And everybody wants to know these things. So first, I do want to say that Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success. Each coach's income depends on his or her effort or skill. Okay. So there's 3 different ways. The first way is very straightforward, you guys. It's commission. 25 to 30% commission on all products, programs, supplements, wellness, customizable kits that you put together for your clients and your new coaches. So for an example, I'm just going to put into perspective how awesome this really could be, and especially right off the hop to earn that initial investment back. Each coach, so say you help somebody with a wellness kit with a nutrition program and the fitness program together. And that is a 25% commission of $32 US, right? So the pack is $160 US. I'm just gonna speak in US because I think most of us are on here are American. So 25 to 30% of that is 32 US, 46.50 Canadian. So say, you know, right off the hop, you're into it, you're excited, you want to earn that initial investment back and help some people, get some people into your group, and you help 5 people get started with that exact pack, right? That customizable wellness kit, however that looks for you. If you help those 5 people right off the hop, that's $160 US in your pocket, right? So to put into perspective, it's a great way to get your business started. The second way is called bonus. So you're going to give yourself some bonuses in your business. They're called team bonus cycles. This is like the company, Beachbody, bonusing you for helping your new coaches, getting started with their business, and by them going out and helping other people get set up with their wellness kit, getting healthy, getting fit, getting results. And this eventually, you guys, becomes a residual income. And I know for me, and a lot of the girls on here can probably vouch for this or say too, that this is my main source of income now, is the bonus cycle, right? It's not so much the commission, it's the bonus cycle over time, right? So this is basically Beachbody, your partnered company, saying to you, you know what, you're doing a great job on mentoring your team. They're seeing some growth and they're seeing some success. We're going to bonus you, okay? I do want to share too, and like I said, income disclaimer, but I had just shared a post the other day. I actually had some tears yesterday because I took 3 weeks off. We just moved over the holidays into our new home. It was a big step for us. But I took those 3 weeks. I spent it with my family. My husband had 2 weeks off, which we've never been able to do. And I still generated over $1,500 in income. So I wasn't broke. I didn't have to use credit cards for Christmas. And that was like next level. I can't even tell you guys how that felt. I cannot even tell you. So that's the second way. The third way, the third opportunity is as your business grows and your team grows, you have the opportunity to start earning what's called quarterly bonuses. This starts from $900 US and it can go up to $10,000. Like it really just depends on the efforts, diligence, the skills, efforts, consistency over time, right? Growing your team. But there is that third huge bonus as well that you can earn. Just to kind of top it off here, we do get paid weekly every single Thursday. Happy Thursday, you guys. So Thursday is paydays always. And you guys, I just have to say it, and I know we've talked about it before, this is not a get rich quick thing. You're not going to sign up today and get rich tomorrow. It has to be built on passion and genuinely wanting to change your life and to continue doing that and growing and learning and working on your mindset and just helping people all the time. It's really hard to grow this business. And I know we all fall into it sometimes. I want to make money. I want to make money. Who can I sell to? Who can I sell to? You guys know what your newsfeed looks like. You know what the world is turning into with selling online and stuff like that. So it's really important to understand that this business is built on passion first and foremost, and helping people, right? So that was everything as far as income. And I'm going to pass it over to Michelle.
All right, thank you. My name is Michelle, and I'm the old coach on the call. My 7-year coach anniversary is actually on this Sunday. which is crazy. And so just to address really quick before I share more of my story, I saw a question was asking if you have to be a full-time coach. And the answer is no. Most of the coaches that I coach with on my team right now are currently part-time coaches because they have full-time jobs. They do this on the side. It creates freedom and flexibility for a little extra income in their life, so which is nice. But as you'll see with my story, and similar to the other women that are speaking tonight, it gave me the choice when it came down to it, the opportunity to decide whether I wanted to continue with my full-time job or if I wanted to do this full time. So I was, yes, I was an elementary school teacher. So actually when I started coaching, I was an elementary school teacher. But back up a little bit. I have been married to my husband now for over 12 years, and we have 2 kiddos. And very similar to Courtney, I feel like it's funny who you attract in your life when you're in this business, because you'll see overlaps in our stories. But like Courtney, first baby, first C-section was like fine. I was great, had a healthy pregnancy, and I will say I did come from a background that I love fitness. I played soccer growing up. I danced. I was a cheerleader. I was active, and actually before I had my son, I really decided I just really wanted to take care of myself at a different level because I wanted to have a healthy pregnancy. I wanted to be active throughout my pregnancy, to be able to recover quickly afterwards. And I did that, and I felt really good. And but then when I had my second child, my daughter, and they are right around 2 years, 3 months apart. And when I had her, I struggled big time to lose the baby weight, to just prioritize my life, take care of myself, feel like myself. Actually, before I got pregnant with her, I ended up getting displaced in my teaching career. So I was teaching second grade for 6 years, and I actually, had my first full year as a teacher, as a mom, and I was like, all right, I can do this like full-time working mom thing, that because like my life, I was like set to be a teacher for life. That was my mentality. When I was in first grade, I wanted to be a teacher, and that was what I was going to be doing for 30, 35 years. I was going to retire as a teacher after 30, 35 years. But I was displaced. There were tons of teachers that were furloughed. Teachers bounced around all over the place. To give you an idea, I got displaced to 4th grade, which I was so incredibly grateful that I still had a job and I was still in my same building and everything. But it was a 2-year jump. I felt like a brand new teacher over again. And for anyone that's a teacher knows what it's like being a brand new teacher. It's insane. And then I was pregnant. I had a toddler at home, and I was pregnant. I was like a brand new teacher all over again. I felt like a hot mess. And then after I had my daughter, on top of that, like I was just not feeling myself and not taking care of myself like I wanted to. And then I had to go back to work, and I went back to work after she was 5.5 months was when I went back to work. It was in October 1st. That date is like stuck in my head. I always thought that, I wanted to like plan out when I had my baby. She was an April baby, which in my mind was like the perfect time to have a baby. You have a baby, you move into summer, and then you go back to start the school year with your new students. But I was like, I do not want to go back to school yet. I wanted to have that time with her. So I skipped the start of the school year. I mean, unpaid. I was on family medical leave, but I was able to extend that family medical leave and start October 1st instead. And I went back, and I was just like, how am I going to even like take care of my health at all now that I'm like back full-time teaching? And that actually happened to be when my coach had approached me and asked me if I wanted to be in this group, this online wellness community that was actually specifically for moms. And so I joined this group. The timing could not have been more perfect. I was at a point where I couldn't get to the gym. I ran, I had run a marathon at that point. I took group fitness classes. I loved all those things, but I didn't I just didn't see how that was going to fit into my life at that point in time. So I was willing to just try anything to feel like myself again. So that is when I started my first program, which was Insanity. Same trainer as Shayla, and it was insane. And I did it at home. I did it in my classroom. I actually did it, like I threw it up on my smartboard. I had other teachers join me. It was awesome. I was, having those women at school work out with me. And then on top of it, I had the online wellness community as well that I was plugged into and connected to. And just, these women, we were so busy and we had kids and we had jobs and we were just managing to make ourselves a priority. And we were there to support each other through the ups and downs. And I think that community was huge for me, and especially at that point in time for me. So I started with that program, and like I said, I always had loved fitness, and I really I had wanted to become a group fitness instructor, but again, timing was just crazy with school and kids and everything. So I was kind of like, this is kind of like my way to feed my passion for health and wellness, doing this on the side. And at that point in time, like, I love Shakeology. My husband loves Shakeology right from the get-go. And I knew that I could get a discount because as a coach, you get a 25% discount. So that was huge. And so I just decided that I would take the leap, try it out as a hobby. If we could earn enough to pay for our Shakeology, great. If not, then that's fine too. So I gave it a shot because at that point in time, I felt like I had absolutely nothing to lose to give it a try. And from that point forward, when I first started, it was completely a hobby. That's just how I started. I naturally loved health and wellness, so it was easy for me to like talk about and share and things. And I helped clients get started, but I didn't have I had no business background whatsoever. I was an elementary school teacher, which by the way, helped me tremendously because I have that heart and want to help. Like that's just always been in me. So that was a huge help, but I didn't have the business side of me whatsoever. So it wasn't until a year and a half in the business when I went to my, our coach summit, which is once a year in the summer. It's this July in New Orleans this year. And it's when all the coaches in the network get together and corporate is there and top coaches speak, and there's trainings and celebrations and live workouts and everything. It wasn't until I went to that event, so a year and a half into my business, when I was like, wow, like, there is so much potential with this business, and there is an incredible amount of people out there that I could be helping that I'm not helping because I'm not treating it like a business and not doing all of those activities that Courtney talked about on a daily basis. So that kind of flipped the switch. And at this point in time, like I said, like, I still had no desire to be a full-time coach, none whatsoever. I was still going to, I was going to be a fantastic teacher, and I was going to do this on the side. But as my kids got older, and as I saw the impact and, that the compound effect of my efforts that I was putting into it, because, like the other women, so you can probably see Success Leaves Clues, we're hard workers. We put in the effort. We're not afraid to work. And I was putting in that effort while teaching full-time and raising these babies at home. And I was seeing the compound effects. I was seeing my income grow, and I was seeing what the potential is. And my son was approaching, he was going to be going into kindergarten, and the stress of how I was going to get him on the bus and get him off the bus. And in our school district, we have these scheduled 2-hour delays every month, once a month. And just like logistics, kindergarten was half day. Like, what was I going to do? My wheels started turning, and I was like, well, I have this option to work and put in the effort to make this match my teaching income and be able to replace that and come home and work from home, still teaching, still loving what I'm doing, but have that freedom and flexibility with my kids. So, so that's kind of where I went. I left teaching after it was a little over 2.5 years. And then that's when I, came home and I've been a full-time coach. My son just turned 10 and he was 5 whenever I left teaching, because I left when he went to kindergarten, and I was able to get him on that bus and then have that one-on-one time with my daughter when she was home, which I never really got whenever it's your second child. So okay, so I know we're at 9:40, so we want to respect your time, but my question, and I'm going to keep it pretty short and sweet, is what do you do when you get started? What happens next after you sign up? And honestly, and we've kind of all shared this, we keep it very simple in the beginning. Number one is taking care of yourself. So finding that fitness and nutrition program that's going to work for you, setting yourself up for success to make sure you're taking care of yourself. That's one of the huge perks of this business, is how much you are encouraged to put yourself first and make yourself a priority with your health and your fitness and your nutrition and your wellness. And on top of that, that personal development aspect. So not only are we working our bodies physically, but we're working that mindset and taking care of ourselves through that personal development. Courtney talked about the flexibility of that, whether you're listening to it or reading it or however you want to fit it in. I used to listen in the car. I still listen in the car, but when I was teaching, on my way to work, on my way home from work, when I'd get ready in the morning, things like that, I'd find ways to just squeeze it in and to feed my mind with that good stuff, because mindset makes a big difference in this business. So that's number one, setting yourself up. And the next thing is just initially finding those 2 to 3 people who can be your accountability partners. You know, who in your life would you just love to have on this journey with you, that you would love to see them, whether they are already on a health and wellness journey, or maybe you need to help them take those initial steps into a healthier lifestyle, but just letting them know, like, hey, this is what I'm starting. You know, maybe you're starting out with our 3-week program, 21 Day Fix Real Time, which is an amazing way to start, because it's like it's a 3-week program. So from start to finish, 3 weeks, and you have a win under your belt and you have completed something. So if you say, hey, I am doing a brand new program, or I'm starting a brand new program, I would love for you to just give this a try with me. You know, maybe it's a close friend or a close family member, but just finding those 2 to 3 accountability partners to get started with you. Also, Team Beachbody right away has 5 videos that they will send you. That total for all 5 of those videos is just over 20 minutes. And it gives you basics to get started right away. So that is offered to you with just a little bit of training to get you started. And then from there, we will pick your path and choose your path and dive into training that we feel is best for you, especially with what your goals are with this business and what you want to do with it. It's mentioned before, but we are all part of a top team in this company, and there are so many tools and resources that we can use to help you get started to pick that path of success that you want to take. But one thing that I can say about my business from, that, I was slow to start, and then 1.5 years in, whenever I, went to that coach summit and my eyes were open to this opportunity, I saw so much potential, and I was, I went all in with it. And hopefully you see that potential sooner too, and see what you can do with this business and the impact that you can truly make. But we will match your pace and figure out what training is best for you, but keep it simple in the beginning. All right, so I'm going to stop this share and check out hello. Now I can see all of your faces. Before I can only see a few. Let me check to see the questions. Okay, and so I think we already answered kind of about the full-time coach thing. Like I said, absolutely, you do not need to be a full-time coach. You can absolutely do this as a part-time side job, and you can be incredibly successful as well. You don't need to be a full-time coach to be successful. This business enabled us to have this freedom and flexibility to take this full-time, but we were seeing success before we chose to make it a full-time business. Any other questions? There is a chat box at the bottom if you want to type something in, or you can unmute yourself if you have a specific question to ask. Or if you are just a little bit shy right now, you can send a message to one of us or send a message to the coach that invited you to follow up. Anything else? Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate your time. We hope that you got some answers out of this and some things clarified. And oh, I see a question. Let's see. Do I have to have a lot of people on social media? No, absolutely not. We all started out, and I think that what you have to understand about social media, because I think for a lot of people, and at least I know people have come to me that they don't want to become this person that's like blasting social media with all Beachbody stuff. And let me tell you, that is exactly what you should not do with this business. This is about building relationships. Social media enables us to connect and relate to people, and them relate to us and our lifestyle. And by us telling our stories, that's really the main way to share on social media, is with storytelling and connecting with people and building those relationships. This isn't like a salesy business. This is, really you want to look at it as a relationship building business, because that's what the focus is. So no, you don't need a lot of people on social media. You build those connections and relationships over time. It's not something that you have to have right away. And there's also face-to-face interaction. I mean, especially when you're first starting off, like face-to-face interaction with friends and family members and people you already know that you love and want them to live a healthier life, and you want them to take care of themselves, and you would just love to work with them taking care of yourselves. Those are great people to talk to initially too. Okay, how do I sign up if I want to start? All right, so we talked about that. Contact your coach, let them know that you want to sign up, and find that customized wellness package that is perfect for you. With our wellness packages, you will be able to sign up as a coach for free. So definitely let your coach that you know that you are ready. All right, awesome question. Thank you. Anything else? Hello, sweet girl. Hi. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. We hope that you got a lot out of this. If you have any questions, let us know. We're happy. We are open books about this. We would love you to see the success that we have seen with this business as well. Mm-hmm. All right. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.